Guys, every time I go and urinate, it's just like a present. It is just fabulous. To be able to urinate, you cannot believe what a great sensation this is. I mean, I wish that I wouldn't have waited this long. I fought it for a long time, like 7 years. I fought it for a long time. It was totally misery. And it was mostly just I was afraid. And there was no reason to be afraid of this at all.
I tell my patients that if you are lucky enough to live to an older age, then you will have the privilege to see a urologist. Over 40 million men in the United States have BPH, or benign prostatic hyperplasia, also known as an enlarged prostate. Only less than half are being treated with medical therapy. Sometimes medication is simply not enough. In this video, one of my patients, Danny, will share his experience regarding what he went through with his ordeal relative to his enlarged prostate, what he ended up having done, as well as his amazing recovery. So let's watch. All right, Danny, you had a surgery about 4 months ago, and it's a long road before you had that surgery. Can you tell us what happened with your enlarged prostate before you had that surgery?
Well, it became a nightmare. I mean, I started getting bladder infections, and then I fought this and fought this and fought this, took pills, which really didn't help the situation. Then I started to have to catheterize myself, which really became a difficult situation because no matter where you're at, the airport, in your car, the mall, golf course, wherever you're at, you have to find a place to hide and try to do this. And it's not a comfortable thing, and it works to a certain degree, but then it comes to an end.
So let me get this straight. You were having trouble with urination and due to an enlarged prostate, right?
Yes.
And you took medication which was not effective.
No.
So you ended up having to stick a tube inside your pee hole into the bladder to help yourself empty. And for how long did you do that?
I did that approximately 3 months, 3.5 months. And it wore me down to the point where, I wanted to do something else. And I wanted to get over the fear of doing this. I mean, believe me, there's no reason to be fearful of this. This changes your whole life, and
so
that's to the better.
Yeah. So you got tired of the medication not working, and then having to put a tube into the bladder all the time, multiple times a day. And I did the workup on you, and I suggested a TURP procedure.
Correct.
And you had this done several months ago. How did things change after the procedure?
Well, I mean, it's night and day. I mean, like I said, my whole life has changed. I mean, to be able to urinate, you cannot believe what a great sensation this is. I mean, you can actually start sleeping at night. You have no fear of bladder infections. Your whole life changes. And the thing about this surgery also is that I never had to take a pain pill, nothing. It was just a breeze. An hour and a half later, I left the operating room. I was back home. 2.5 days later, I was back in my doctor's office, and things just went a green light, better and better every day. Please do not be afraid. Fear is not necessary in this procedure.
And a lot of guys may be a little worried about urinary incontinence, not being able to control their urine after a TURP procedure, or roto as they call it. What's been your experience?
Well, you have to retrain yourself, right after the surgery. But I mean, you're only talking a couple of weeks, and man, you're back and running. You're back. You can go anywhere and have confidence in what you're doing, and not have to be afraid to pull your car over or pee your pants or wearing Depends or anything like that. I mean, you're ready to go.
Last question: how has this changed your quality of life?
100%. I just can't emphasize that enough, that my whole life has changed, and I mean changed for the better. And guys, every time I go and urinate, it's just like a present. It is just fabulous. Do not be afraid.
Well, when you suffered so long for so much and having to put a catheter in you, and now converting that to being able to pee freely and to live a better life, I think you've made the right decision.
Absolutely. I mean, I would do this in a heartbeat. I mean, I wish that I wouldn't have waited this long. I fought it for a long time, like 7 years. I fought it for a long time. It was totally misery. And it was mostly just I was afraid. And there was no reason to be afraid of this at all.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Danny, for sharing your story.
You bet. Thank you for helping me out.
If yourself or you know someone who is suffering from an enlarged prostate and its associated urinary symptoms, please have him reach out to his physician or urologist to ask for treatment options. Medication sometimes is inadequate, and there are a lot of other treatment options, including but not limited to TURP or roto. Stay well and take care.